Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer.
And a beautiful Friday morning it is, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into the hottest spot in town. This is Sunshine's Corner. And I tell you, we are going to I call this my laid back Friday.
Yeah.
My side chick Friday.
Yeah.
Okay? Side chick.
Yeah. Chick too.
Although she's a chick.
Yeah.
But it's so many things that I want to talk about. It's so many things that's in my heart that I want to talk about. And it's so much that's on the inside of me that's just rolling, because I'm a person that I watch. Mm-hmm. And when I watch, I hold it. Mm-hmm. Because I see so many things that I can see, whereas some of us, we say one thing, mm-hmm. but our actions are proving others. Mm-hmm. And I believe actions speak louder than words, because even in the Bible it says, whatsoever is in a man's heart, so is he. Mm-hmm. And I see that. And I just want to talk about the things that I went back, and last night I think it was all about when I was experiencing yesterday. It was hot, but it was Juneteenth, the celebration, Dr. King and his legacy. And we as a people, my prayer, and I hope to God that I get to see this, although I ain't going nowhere till I'm 150.
Which is what, about 60 more years from now?
500.
Oh, 500 years from now. Okay.
But what I'm saying is, it's like, I want to see really together. Mm-hmm. I'm getting emotional today. I don't understand why I'm getting so emotional.
You are emotional today. It's okay.
I want to talk, and I wrote these things down. I want to go back and talk about the historical content of even what we were celebrating with the fact of with Juneteenth yesterday. When we think about, because it was back in 2021, even when it was passed, that it would be a holiday.
I think though that, so there's two things about that holiday. One is Florida's is a month ahead. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if a lot of people know that May 20th is Florida's Emancipation Day. So that's the day that the Florida Negro was told and found out they were free.
But you see, when you said that, something on the inside hit me again. When you said that the Florida Negro, the Florida people, these are the kind of things.
Enslaved people, though.
Exactly, it's enslaved people. And I want you to be a part of this conversation today, because I think that the only way we can come to a real conclusion is to talk about it. Yeah. But sometimes I hear people, you talk about it in your groups. Yeah. You talk about it in your little groups. Mm-hmm. And that's not getting us anywhere. Mm-hmm. When if I got to go to you and go, that's not getting us anywhere. If we can't come together in 2025, when you see everything that's happening around us, and it is pointed geared toward us, when are we going to make that change? I am hurting on the inside today, and I don't understand why I feel this today. Mm. I don't know what it is that I think when I talked to you yesterday, I told you what I was experiencing on the inside of me. Mm-hmm. And that's coming from my heart, because I'm so tired of seeing things, and I'm hearing one thing, but I see another.
Yep. But I was in that spot probably quite frankly, after the election results. Mm-hmm. So, I do election work. So during the election, hearing why people wouldn't vote for a woman, why our people wouldn't vote for a black woman, and then hearing the polar opposites of the things that would be beneficial to our community being spewed by another person. But all I kept hearing was money, power, and things like that, and it's trying to really get people to understand, hey, those things are not going to equate to you.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, you will not benefit from these things.
Exactly.
And so, right after the election,
maybe that's it. It's just spewing out of me now.
Yep. So after the election, I was really hurt. I didn't know if I wanted to do the political work anymore. I was frustrated with the community personally. Mm-hmm. I was just in a bad spot. I was in a really, really bad spot. But I just had to really go to God.
I want you to, when you look at the camera, I want you to look at that camera right there.
Yeah, but when I just had to go to God, and I had to say, God, you know what? And he had to tell me let go my expectations, because very rarely do anything that God God works out the way that I think it's gonna work out. God always works stuff out totally different than you. So I had to let go of my expectations, and what might happen is your frustration, you're gonna let it out, and then you're gonna take some actions. And whatever those actions may be, they may be small actions, and then you're gonna just work in your field and you're gonna go. So God has slowly given me my hope and my passion. He's slowly giving it to me. But you know, you just gotta just trust God. Like, He's gonna work it out. I don't think you're not trusting God. I'm just saying, like, you just gotta remind yourself, let go of what you expected to happen.
Okay, okay, now here's where I'm going. Mm-hmm. And I've got to get this out of me because it's really weighing me down.
Get it out of you.
And I want you, the community, to be a part of this conversation. Let me hear what you're thinking today, because I cannot be thinking this by myself. I know that I'm not the only one.
Well, you just heard me. I was very frustrated. Like, they were like, "You gonna get on the call?" No. I'm not getting on the call with y'all about nothing.
Right. But it's the expectation that I see what people think, what they really think of you.
Yeah.
And I think you know where I'm going.
I know where you're going.
I mean, what they really think and what they think. When you got that dead wrong, baby. I mean, it's because of the fact that there's this level that you think that you are above when you're not.
But that's what I'm saying, like, when you let go of your expectations, those are their thoughts and what they think, right? It has nothing to do with you.
Absolutely, but why is it, okay, like, I'm saying like this, and I hear what you're saying. I'm not in the political field. Yeah. I wouldn't go because I'm sure they would really have a problem with me. But the fact of it is, I'm saying that even where I think that when we can make a way, we're not together. Don't sit there and tell me we are. I see it every day. We are not together.
Well, there are some of us who are together.
Some, but I'm saying that we can come together to make this even better.
But I mean, it's always been an issue in our community, right?
Why?
Well, I love history. We was just talking about the Montgomery Museum, and I think that but it's always been this way. Even when you look at the Civil Rights Movement, when you look at the other stories.
But they did have a little bit more togetherness than what we have now.
Not the mainstream stuff. I'm
not talking about I'm talking about the togetherness of our community back then. Yes, it did.
Because you look at the philosophies of, you can go back to W.E. Du Bois versus George Washington. They both had two different philosophies.
Right, but here's what I'm saying, though. You're missing what I'm saying. I understand that.
But that's not togetherness, is what I'm saying. We've always had the issue.
Okay, look at me. I'm looking at, everybody, it's okay that we can disagree.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about our community. I'm talking about what I see right here in Escambia County. I'm talking about what I see every single day.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
I know what W.E. Du Bois did. I understand that.
Mm-hmm. And George, they both had different philosophies. Now, I'm just saying that togetherness is always, the path has always been in a state of confusion.
Right.
For our
but we got to get beyond that. Now, I'm going to take it to another level. If we keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different outcome, we're insane. Because that's not going to happen. We have got to come together to make a difference. If we continue to look at the philosophy of those that before, but yet we're coming to this point today and not doing anything to correct it, then that is called insanity. Because if you keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome, that is not going to happen. But until we as a community, black people, until we make up in my minds to take the I out of the equation and work for us, things are not going to change.
Well,
and I want us to understand this, because I'm saying this because of what I see. I want us to evolve. When it comes to my community, I'm totally sold out. But I'm not going to sell out and not do what I feel that is right for my fellow man. I want to help somebody. I want somebody to understand that I'm giving you something that is going to elevate us all. I understand what happened yesterday. When I say yesterday, I'm not talking literally yesterday. I'm talking about the past. But we as a community, and I get so emotional when I see what I see and I'm feeling what I'm feeling today. And I don't understand why I'm feeling this today. I want us to realize who we are. I'm so hurt today. Oh, I don't want to do this.
It's okay. It's okay. So I think it's like we just got to take everybody got to do their part. And some parts are small. I had to realize this also. Some parts are small, some parts are big. I go back to the movie The Janitor, right? And when I really thought about the book or the movie and the mindset and the thought process, who would think that a janitor would impact the country the way that he did?
I remember that philosophy.
And he did it in such a small way by being a great janitor to the president of the butler. I'm sorry.
Butler.
I'm sorry. So, but he did it by being a butler to the president of the United States. So, you know, me and my ego, a butler, you know what I'm saying? I would never be a butler to the president of the United States, knowing that they don't like me, knowing that they don't have no respect for me, and showing up in excellence and respect every day, knowing that those things are not expected of me, right? And then thinking about how he did it, and he did it in such a gracious and humble way. And so the point of that particular story was that someone did it and they made their impact in a small way. And he was part of influencing the president, Lyndon B. Johnson, in passing the Civil Rights Act.
Exactly.
So, you know, we just got to think about, like, everybody. I believe in my heart, Sunshine. I hope that you could just listen to me on this. I believe in my heart that most people are making an impact in a small way. It might be in their silos. It might not be these big splashes, but most of us are trying our best in our very small way to make a difference and to really help the community to come together.
I hope so, because I just don't want us to.
I believe that.
I don't want us to continue to do things, to say one thing and do another, and I see that so often.
But I think that also,
somebody's on the phone. Let's see. I don't want to keep them holding. Good morning.
Good morning, Sonshine. I'm sorry that you're feeling down today, and I understand why that you're feeling this way. Yesterday, although we were celebrating Juneteenth and Martin Luther King, Dr. Martin Luther King didn't give him his proper initials. Yesterday was kind of disappointing because we usually have a plethora of our people out in the streets supporting the cause that our ancestors put forth. And it was a light crowd of people that was there. There was not a lot of floats and stuff that participation. So where was everybody at? It's true, they was not supporting the event like they normally do, regardless of when it would happen. If it was during the January, if it would have been in February, it was still going on. It was out there. They knew about it, and they didn't come out and support the Juneteenth event and Dr. Martin Luther King parade. And so that was disappointing to not see. When I got there, I was like, oh, nobody is not here yet. Lined it up like it normally is. And that was sad. That was very sad. And then this morning, as soon as I listened to the radio, the first thing they asked President Trump yesterday, one lady asked him twice, was he going to commemorate Juneteenth? And he never would answer them. And then he later on had spoken about that there's the U.S. Take too many days off for holidays. So he wanted to bring that up on Juneteenth Day. And that we need to stop having all these holidays where people are not at work, which is going to cripple the economy. But he's not thinking that all the spending that he does is crippling the economy, because he's spending so much money on nonsense stuff that's going on. But then he thinks that's okay.
I hear you.
And I know how you feel, because I felt that when I walked up yesterday and then see all of the people that are out there cheering on and supporting. Even though we still make the most of that day, I feel your pain. I really do feel your pain.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, dear. I thank you for your call.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, bye-bye. And everybody, if you would like to be a part of this conversation, please do 850-432-7768. I almost gave a number of my other one. 850-432-7768.
Not your cell phone number.
I'm sorry. I'm going to give my home phone number.
Oh, then you're not going to answer it. It's not like you be home.
And but please be a part of the conversation. Let's talk about it. And look at this as we continue, Keithina. What does Juneteenth mean to you personally, to your family?
So personally, to me and my family, Juneteenth means that we're celebrating freedom, right? And you know, like, I'm getting shivers now, but think about the concept of being free and not knowing you free. So that's what Juneteenth is all about. That it was a subset of people, African Americans, who were enslaved, basically to work for free in the United States. And then the president of the United States, who is the law of the land, right, told them, hey, you're free. You no longer have to work for free, right? And then you not knowing it. That's like being in jail and you just sitting there not knowing that you could leave.
Exactly.
And so I celebrate my freedom. I think I reflect on my freedom. I reflect on who has paid the price, what has that cost them, you know what I'm saying, the people that came before me. And I don't even want to go back to slavery. I just want to go back to my grandmother and my grandfather. I want to go back to my dad, you know?
I hear you, I feel you there.
So the cost that they paid so that I could be free. And I mean, and freedom is not necessarily enslavement to me. Freedom is the fact that I don't have to go to somebody's job and be chained by the 8 to 5.
You blessed.
I don't have to, but I've worked hard, you know.
Yes, you did.
But my dad worked hard. My grandparents worked hard. Their parents changed every generation. That's what I'm saying, like about change. Like change can happen from generation to generation. Now my kids might, hopefully, the things that they're picking up will not that. So I'm just thinking about how freedom has changed, what it means. I do want to I'm going to make a comment about the caller, and so. I'm glad that you were vulnerable. I'm glad you shared your emotions with us, because all of us are feeling that. We understand the pressure of the administration. Let's just be blunt. Like, this is not about politics. This is about my culture and who I am as a person. And my ancestry is under attack.
Yes.
And it's being disregarded.
All of that.
And so this is not about like the economy.
No.
This is not about money. This is not about Republicans and Democrats. This is about my heritage.
Exactly.
And could you imagine your heritage being under attack?
And that's what's happening. And that's why I think when I see, I hear, I watch, and it bothers me.
But I'm telling you that you're not the only person feeling this, right? I'm telling you that I had to go get me some therapy. Shout out to my therapist. She is amazing. And therapy was just, and so I just wanted to go bring it back to mental health. Like, we as a people have a lot going on right now. And we got to go seek professional help. Like, it's not, all I do is go in there and talk for a whole hour about me. It's the best thing ever.
She gonna need 6 hours with me.
I've heard some people say they'll break the therapist. I'm like, you can't break her. She's unbreakable.
No doubt. But ladies and gentlemen, please be a part of this conversation today. We're talking about, it's the historical content that we're reaching at now.
Yeah.
And you can be a part of this conversation at 850-432-7768. We'll be back with more on this Friday edition of Sunshine's Corner.
Good day, Pensacola. Welcome to a new segment on health and wellness sponsored by Baptist Healthcare in partnership with Sunshine's Corner. Every first Wednesday of the month during Sunshine's telecast, we're going to be bringing you information about health and wellness and ways to make sure we're improving the quality of your health care here in Pensacola. After all, we want to ensure that you're going to the right place at the right time and for the right reason, and that you don't feel alone. Can't wait to see you.
From the efficiency of American natural gas and the dependability of nuclear power, to the strength of Florida's sunshine and the flexibility of advanced battery storage systems, we leverage a diverse mix of energy sources to power our growing state, ensuring reliable, low-cost power for your home or business whenever you need it. FPL, working for you every single day.
Many who consider facial plastic surgery are concerned their results will look unnatural. But with over 20 years of serving the Pensacola community, his thousands of satisfied patients have made Dr. Derek Jones a trusted reconstructive and facial plastic surgeon known for industry-leading results that look natural. Call 850-484-FACE to schedule a consultation at one of our locations in Pensacola and Gulf Breeze.
I'm Dr. Derek Jones. Trust your face to a facial plastic surgeon.
At Pensacola Habitat for Humanity, we believe every child should have a safe place to grow. That's why we work with you and the community to build not just a house, but a home.
She worked very hard to get this house. I really appreciate that because, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here right now.
When you help build a home, you build a future. Pensacola Habitat for Humanity.
And welcome back to this Friday edition of Sunshine's Corner. And we are talking about the historical content that we're going to move forward on. We're talking about Pensacola. We're talking about life. We're talking about things that affect us. And I truly wish that we felt, when I see so many people, I go, oh, I want to talk to you, but I'm scared. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid. Well, I mean, you know, I do understand a lot of people can't move because they're economically tied to certain systems. And so that's why it's a more or less like, will they be able to take care of their families?
You think, okay, so then therefore there's a thing that's held over you.
Yeah.
Because of the fact I can't speak my opinion.
I mean, that's
because of what you hold the thing, because you write me a check.
That's the American way.
Kanye
said it best. They made us hate ourselves and love their wealth.
I tell you. Let's go back to the community and the cultural expressions. What are some of your traditional ways that people celebrate Juneteenth in this city? That I'm not just talking about I'm talking about really celebrating and educate.
Yeah. So I've seen some in the city personally. I love how, you know, I own Black Cafe and Book store. So it's a Black centered bookstore, so 90% of our books are written by Black people locally. Sunshine, I'm gonna fuss at you on national TV.
Don't say it.
You don't have no books in my store, so I can't even say included Sunshine. So can we get some books ordered, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
So y'all heard her. She said she's gonna get these books ordered.
I will
y'all
put the
heard
books
her.
in her store.
Okay.
I ordered some and I took them. I gave them out in Montgomery when I went home.
Now, see, how did Montgomery get some books before I got books?
That's home.
See,
okay.
How you celebrate Juneteenth?
I went home.
But so we get a lot of uptake in sales because people want to come in and intentionally support a lot of Black-owned businesses.
Exactly.
Or not necessarily Black-owned business. I've also seen where if a particular business celebrates Juneteenth in a way, whether that's a Juneteenth menu or something special, then we'll be intentional about supporting. So I really love that aspect of these type of holidays because people start thinking about how they want to spend their dollars, which essentially in America, that's money rules everything, right?
Right, but we say America, but and I know in America, but I'm looking at Pensacola. I'm looking at
money rules everything.
Money doesn't do that, but I want us to be that way here.
Yeah.
I mean, to be able to support, and of course, why not support our store?
Yeah. Why not support your book?
Like, why not support my book?
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, let's buy more Black-owned authors. You know, let's take those sales and make them important. But so we celebrate by intentionally spending our dollars. Well, I'm like that. Period. I promise. I've always been like that. Like I intention. And let me just say this: as a African American woman, doing business with me can be a little bit more challenging because I don't have all the tools and resources that a lot of larger or major corporations do have. But you just gotta be patient. You gotta show compassion.
They had to go through that process too.
Well, no, maybe they did.
Here's what I'm saying. No, I won't speak this thing on you. Now let's go from here. I want to hear about this. What are some of the current injustices that go against the spirit of Juneteenth?
The current injustices would be the example of the Black man being shot yesterday here in Pensacola, Florida, on Juneteenth, right?
That was so hurting. I think that was another thing that affected
emotional.
Me.
Yeah.
That had me so emotional. The fact that he got shot. Tase him at something, knock him out.
And then the current injustice would be the current presidential administration that doesn't really want to celebrate the holiday. Who's ever heard of a president taking a holiday away? I've never heard of such a thing, but whatever. And then the fact that the federal government can't acknowledge Juneteenth right now.
Right.
We just got it, y'all. We just got it.
In 2021. I mean, and what do you think that took so long for that to happen?
Well, I think it had to be a thought process. But you want to know something? And I hope I don't go off topic, so you can tell me if I am. But I was looking at some American scandals. This documentary on TV about scandals in politics, and this thing has really like helped me. But when I was looking at the Anita Hill hearing, right? And I remember being a little girl, and I was kind of upset with her because I wanted a Black man to be on the Supreme Court, right? But now that I think about my mindset as a grown woman and understanding what she was trying to say and what she was doing, right? But anyway, that ain't the point. The point is that Joe Biden was the head of the committee hearing when it came to her, and I thought about how he did not handle her properly, right? He wasn't nasty, wasn't mean, but they could have done a much better job of handling.
That's everything.
Yeah, but anyway, so the point here is that Joe Biden really redeemed himself when he came back with the nomination of the first black woman VP. He gave us Juneteenth.
Yes, he did.
I was just like, but that's why I also say we got to lead with compassion and faith and love, because sometimes people might realize they've made a mistake, and now you got to give them a chance to recover from that mistake, right? And that's just what it is. That's what God does to us every day, Sunshine. And so some people make them, and that's that. So that was my point, was that Joe Biden really redeemed himself after he had mishandled Anita.
I mean, he mishandled, but he came back. I think he realized the truth.
That's what I'm saying.
Somebody got to do that with this current administration.
I don't know about that. I don't think that's going to happen.
What role should schools and media play in educating our public now, our schools, our children especially, who don't even know, some of them don't know who Dr. King is. They're talking about Juneteenth.
Well, I think that the roles that our schools should play is we should talk about history, right? I think
But they're trying to pull away like
but it's the good and the bad. I don't think people are understanding that, right? If I never knew the mistakes, I do a lot of self-reflection. Sorry, I hit the mic. But if I never thought about the mistakes that I made, how can I recover? How could I mature? How could I be better if I don't think so? I think we need to talk about history and not look at it as we're pointing a finger at things that's you done personally.
Well, don't you think though, even when it comes to educating our youth, that we as a community and the parents, everybody, we got to educate them ourselves.
Yeah, but I mean, just like some people don't want to know that their ancestors have done bad things in the past, some people don't want to know that their ancestors have been through bad things in the past.
But that's the only way you can, you
just
can't
said
expect that. But what I'm saying is to you, ladies and gentlemen, there are some things that we got to come on, take this out of the equation, we got to do it. And I will stand on that as long as I have two legs. That if we don't, because we're still going revolving in a circle that ain't getting nowhere.
She's going to stand on that as long as she has a mouth.
Hello.
Them legs
and
will be
I'm
gone.
on them legs. Okay. And I mean,
I want to talk about the media. The media is also responsible, because I am a big proponent of to whom much is given, much is required. And so when you are given the responsibility of influence, you must be very responsible with that. So education, such as what you're doing today, even like I said, like the first half, you shared your emotions with us. I promise you, I'm running into so many people who have those emotions. So the media is responsible, which is you are the media, right? I am the media, and we're responsible for making sure that we are intentional about educating people.
And I'm very intentional, and I will call it out. Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm not on the
today is
call
a day
outside.
that I just want to reflect. I want to, because I hear, and then some things, even with the media, when I hear some people when they talk one thing, and the minute they're off the camera, they're saying what they really feel. But they're not coming out with it on camera. Let me finish.
I ain't saying nothing. I'm listening. I ain't saying nothing.
I mean, now, and I think that we got to overcome that. And then oh no, should have been none like that. But you didn't bring that up. Talk about it. I'm not afraid to talk about things.
But I think that also is a reflection of you knowing who you are, and the person who flips off and lies and pretends they're another person, they don't know who they are, or they don't believe they are who they think they are, right? So you know who you are, you believe who you are. That's a difference.
Yeah.
Because a person who has to pretend, if they were right within themselves, like they knew who they were, then they couldn't pretend.
And also, I'll say this: don't be a follower, be a leader.
Everybody can't be a leader.
I know somebody got to be in it, but what I'm saying is, you get exactly what I'm saying.
I'm just teasing you. I'm just messing with you because I know you.
And there's no doubt that you're not getting what I'm saying.
Oh gosh, I'm teasing y'all, but I knew you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Friday. It is yet things going on. Even tonight at our gallery night, it's going to be celebrated as Juneteenth.
Happy hour celebrating Juneteenth.
Juneteenth tonight, yes it is.
Happy hour, gallery night. Yep.
And but all of these things are yet celebrating, and that is my question. What are you celebrating? Are you celebrating because you know it is Juneteenth, or are you capitalizing on the name Juneteenth? But are you really celebrating Juneteenth?
That's a question, Sunshine. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a real question.
Well, somebody call me and tell me.
Well, I'm celebrating Juneteenth.
Okay. This girl is so funny.
You celebrating Juneteenth?
Hello?
What you said? What does Juneteenth mean to you?
Juneteenth to me is a reflection of who I am and who I want my children to know who they are. So when they grow up in this world, that with the freedom that we got, that we already had to fight for, don't you ever forget that road that you had to walk. Teach it to your children.
I got it.
That's what Juneteenth is to me. Freedom that I have today was given to me by my ancestors. I wouldn't be free. And I'm not going to let anybody try to put me back in chains.
But you know, chains can look so different.
No, you don't hear what I'm saying. I'm going another route.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Nobody's going to put me back. Because that's what I see being, when it comes to the black community now, what they're trying to do. Come on, I'm sure you watch and read the media. I'm sure that you read the same things I do. That is a reflection because it pointed at us. But that also tells me if it wasn't something that I had that's so valuable,
you wouldn't
even attack me.
You wouldn't.
So that's what Juneteenth, and I don't want Juneteenth to mean that I'm trying to capitalize, to materialize on something else. It is more important to me than the dollar. It is more important to me than just to say, okay, with this event, I'm going to do this and get that. No, Juneteenth means more to me. It's something coming from my soul. From my soul.
I hear you. Yeah.
We're going to talk more about it, and I want you to talk with me as well. Kingdom Walker, I need you today, 850-432-7768. Sunshine's Corner, we'll be back with more.
You finally found the perfect car in Racing Blue. You even got them to throw in the LED fog lights for free. Auto Owners insures your car because some people never learn to parallel park. That's simple human sense.
Ask the Messick Insurance Agency in Pensacola if auto owners make sense for you.
Keep going. More. No, stop!
Come see us at Royal Appliance Outlet. We have refrigerators, washers and dryers, stoves, beautiful furniture from all of your name brands that you know and trust. Samsung, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, and GE, all at discount prices. Come visit us today at 1612 Face Boulevard. You're gonna love our easy credit to help you bring all your favorite furniture home. Come visit Royal Appliance Outlet.
It's baseball season. From heart-stopping plays to legendary victories, this is baseball at its finest. Grab your seat, bring your energy, and witness greatness live. Don't just watch it, feel it. The Pensacola Blue Wahoos are back, and you can watch Pensacola Blue Wahoos home games live on Fridays and Saturdays, only on Blab TV. Love the Blue Wahoos but can't watch? Get your tickets now.
The Emerald Coast Utilities Authority's state-of-the-art materials recycling facility processes recyclables for communities throughout the region, lowering need for more landfills. This highly efficient recycling service accepts glass, paper, cardboard, plastics, aluminum, and more. But we need your help. Please make sure your recyclables are clean of garbage, food, and liquids. Also, please remember that plastic shopping bags, foam products, or yard waste are not recyclable. To learn more, go to livegreenecua.com.
And welcome back to this Friday edition of Sunshine's Corner. And let me say, I'm not going to apologize for how I feel. I'm not going to apologize at all. What I feel on the inside, I think that we should all be transparent. When there's something that's really important to you, I didn't mean for it to come across like it did.
I think that was intentional. That's God. You know, he had to let it, you know, it's kind of like emotions to me are like it's going to be a nasty description, but it's like an infection. You ever got cut and it got infected and it just oozes out? The body's going to push it out. Your body's going to push out anything that doesn't feel good to it. And so your body was just pushing out the
infection. Like that analogy. Okay, to push it out.
Push it out.
How do these removals from books, cultural festivals, how does this affect the black mental health, the community pride, and the cultural identity? How do you think these things that's happening, how is that going to affect those things that we're having?
So I think that you're going to restrict the education of people, not just black people, of people, period, right? Because I'm a book reader, and the reason I love books is because I get to enter into a world and look at a perspective that I don't have. And so now you're going to take this perspective and you're going to constrict the human mindset and the human thought. Because if you look at where we are as human beings, not color, not gender, and think about how far we have come together based on knowledge, we're still using knowledge from the Greeks, from Pluto, you know, we're still using mindsets from Einstein, people who lived 100 years ago, right? And it was because they wrote it down and they made it a book, and then someone else came along and expanded that thought process.
But what
so
I'm
now
saying
you're
is,
though,
my question is though, how these removals that's happening now that we just talked about?
You're going to stop innovation. You're going to stop people, the human mind, whether it's in the black community or not. Everybody's community, the whole community is my point. And so you're going to stop innovation. You're going to stop us from thinking progressively. You're going to stop us from thinking.
But should that, let me throw this back. Should that stop us or elevate us to think even more?
But if you're not looking at those perspectives, they should, right?
Right.
But if you're taking those perspectives away, we have to, there are
work
some people,
hard to make sure.
There are people in the community who are gonna have to hold it and hold it tight.
Exactly.
You know, we're gonna have to hold on to this knowledge and pass it on. We're gonna be responsible for passing it on.
Okay, listen at this. In your view, because I know that you work in the community as well as I, what is the long-term risk of society if we allow black history, representation to be reduced or removed entirely from the public education institution? I didn't say this from us. I said from the entire institution, what they're trying to do.
Again, I think you're going to limit people. Not just black people, right?
But no, I understand what you're saying when you're not just black people. I'm talking about what they're doing with the black people right now.
No, I'm saying, but you're going to limit the thought process. But I hate to say this because I don't want it removed from the system, but I think it's going to be people like you, it's going to be people like me. We're going to hold on to it and we're going to keep passing it down. Because you got to also remember, we have had a time in our history in this country where our education wasn't available and we was holding on to it and it was prevalent. I've heard so many stories from my grandmama, from her grandmama, from her grandmama, you know? And so I think it's going to be up to people like us. So the impact is going to be, you're going to have more people, so specifically to answer your question, you're going to have more people who are not going to, in our community, who are not going to know who they are and what they come from.
That's what I'm afraid of. Because if you do not know, I can hear my mother, baby, if you don't know where you come from, you sure don't know where you're going. If you understand what I'm saying. And these things are so important. What do you think our local community leaders, are they pushing? Do you think that they're pushing for preserving the cultural, the knowledge, despite all of the difficult times?
Two questions. My question before I can answer that is, when you say leaders, are we talking about black leaders or are we just talking about leaders in general?
I'm talking about the leaders in general.
Do I think that they're,
are they pushing back on preserving the culture?
No. No.
You don't?
No.
Wow.
No.
Let's see who's going. Maybe this person's going to answer this call right here.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sunshine.
Good.
I'm kind of feeling heavy, just like you are.
Yes.
But Father's Day just passed us, and 30 years ago on Father's Day here in Pensacola, the last great revival started, and it lasted 5 years. Well, William J. Seymour, he was born in 1870 in Centerville, Louisiana. He started the Azusa Street revival with a milk crate on his head.
Come on now.
Asking everybody, you know, and he started it really was the birth of the Pentecostal movement in the nation.
Right.
But this past Father's Day, I started another revival. I put a rock on my head. Wasn't nobody there but me and the Lord.
I love it, man. I need to get me a rock.
But I got the master's list behind me.
There you go. Exactly.
Testimony, Sunshine. We need more testimony. We got to bring the soul back.
I agree.
If you look up soul in the dictionary, it talks a lot about Negroes' music and style. And in our churches, we don't allow The soul done wrapped in hip hop this way on out of our churches.
Right.
We need this in our schools, in our homes. We need to teach more wisdom and knowledge. And in order to do that, we got to go back to the old path and redeem, seek redemption. Y'all was talking about that earlier. You know, we are redeemed as individuals, and this nation needs to understand that redemption is a must in order for us to move forward. We can't destroy history. They say history is spelled H-I-S. That's his story. But now it's time for our story as Americans. You use the phrase, we as a people. Yes. I'm gone. I'm not taking up your time, but I'm just saying, the truth is America is troubled by a lack of truth.
Say that again, Kingdom Walker.
The truth is America is troubled by a lack of truth.
Amen. That was good.
And how do you spell truth, Sonshine?
T-R-U-T-H. Come on.
To really understand, trust him.
Amen.
Supernatural blessings on your people. And y'all pray. Pensacola is going to be the next revival in America.
Amen. I'm right there with you, Kingdom Walker. I'm right there with you. Have a great day, my friend. I tell you. Ladies and gentlemen, he spoke some truth.
Yes, he did.
And he was talking about things that we're talking about. He somewhat put it in a nutshell. So therefore, when he even came on to say that he's feeling as heavy as I, even when you say that, and I carry a lot on the inside because I tend to just watch. Mother always says, girl, everything you see, honey. I mean, I could hear her saying these things to me. That was the wisdom that she had that she passed on to me.
That's your ancestors.
My mother, exactly. And what I'm saying to us today, that we as a people need to do this. And the things that he's talking about, the truth and the impact that it's affecting us and our children. Even with the fact that, and I still think that we are somewhat categorized. Correct me if you think I'm wrong, but I'm still gonna stand on it. Hello. No, because and with the world today, why is it that you gotta feel like because my pigmentation is different that you're gonna categorize me?
I mean, it's your pigmentation. It could be your sex.
Most is your pigmentation. Come on,
but
talk
it could
to
be
me.
your sex too. You
Yeah.
know.
Oh yeah, you talking about that.
You know, but I think that some people look for things to make themselves feel more important, and but that really speaks to that inside of them, they don't feel important. They really don't believe that they are who they say they are. Because if I believe who I say I am, I don't need to down you.
I'm not gonna down you because of who I am.
I mean, that's just who I am. It's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have to put you down for me to go higher. I don't have to step on you.
Right.
Because I'm destined to go this way. God gonna make sure I get there, and I don't have to hurt you. I don't have to think no less of you. I don't do nothing because God is gonna make sure I'm okay. And if people really believe that,
it would be a better place.
They wouldn't do it.
It will be a better place. How do you help people understand that we don't have to be against another race to elevate, to grow?
I think that if people understand who God is,
number one.
If you understood who God was, then if you truly understood who God is, then you would know that you don't have to put anybody else down, another race, to be who you are. Number two.
Why do you think that's happening now?
Why do I think that's happening now? I honestly think that we are experiencing the repercussions of Barack Obama of the 2008.
Because he's a black man?
I really do. I think that just based off the history of America.
Of the country.
Yep. But you know what's interesting is like when I look at like true American history as an adult, not as a child, because you know you're learning when you was a child. But I think about like who came to America, why they came to America. They didn't come to America to really be free. They came to be free because they wasn't free where they were at. Kings and queens didn't come over to America. People who were shunned and people who didn't, who were thought
we were brought over here.
I'm not talking about us. I'm just talking about the original people for America. They came over because they were not thought of as supreme beings where they were at. There were people who thought they were better. You know what I'm saying? So they came over and started their own place and said, we're gonna be better than everybody.
I'm gonna ask you a deep question. Okay. And I want you to hear this too, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just speaking from my heart today because I don't know. My emotions are going like
they oozing.
Yeah, and my emotions are flowing. Can someone be intentional, non-racist, but their actions still cause harm?
So because I'm in a political space, in a nonpartisan political space a lot of times, we studied the word, what does racist mean? Mm-hmm. So a racist in the dictionary means a person who has power and they use that power to degrade or downgrade another person. Meaning that if I have the power to hire someone and two people come in and one of them is one color and one of them is another color, and I prefer the other color, but they have the same exact skill set, and I choose that person because of that color, that's power, right? So a lot of people don't understand their power. So when you are degrading people or when you are doing those things, you're not thinking about, and then most people say, I'm not a racist because I don't make laws that say this is used to segregate, right? And they're not understanding their actions and how those small actions or big are affecting people. So can their intentions, can they intend? How could you intentionally not be racist?
Exactly. We're going to come back to that. We got a call, but we're going to take a break real quick. And I want you to be a part. Please share your thoughts today. Maybe you can help me. And I believe that we all have something that can help somebody else. Don't think that you can't help me because I'm sitting here talking to you, but I'm asking for your help. 850-432-7768 right here on Sunshine's Corner.
I'm Emily Echeverria, Marketing Communications Director for Council on Aging of West Florida and the host of Coming of Age. Watch our show to find out what we're doing for our seniors and their families and hear from area experts and local business owners about their programs and services. Want to help? Find out how you can work with us to bring a better future to our seniors. Watch Coming of Age, 3:30 p.m. Wednesdays, only on Blab TV.
From the efficiency of American natural gas and the dependability of nuclear power, to the strength of Florida's sunshine and the flexibility of advanced battery storage systems, we leverage a diverse mix of energy sources to power our growing state, ensuring reliable, low-cost power for your home or business whenever you need it. FPL, working for you every single day.
Empire Truck Sales, located at 2255 West Detroit Boulevard in Pensacola, is your Freightliner, Western Star, Detroit Diesel, and Cummins dealer for Northwest Florida. Open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., Saturdays and Sundays, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., providing sales, service, and parts. Empire Truck Sales is also your Oasis dealer for Freightliner custom chassis RV and motorhome repairs. Running I-10 will get you in.
Well, I think it's all about local, and I'm a big believer in local. So I think anytime you can carry a message out locally, it's important. And I think it's anytime the person that delivers the service can also deliver the message, which is unusual. You have the people that actually deliver the project doing the talking, and I think that's a huge difference and really makes a huge value difference for the consumer. So I'm really just so grateful that we have this local opportunity with Blab TV. My name is Quint Studer, and I am Blab TV.
That's not your cousin.
No, he think it though. Here we go. And welcome back to the hottest spot in town. I tell you guys, go back to the phone right now so we can get these questions answered. Good morning to you. Hello.
Good morning to two beautiful ladies.
Good
morning. How you doing, Nicole?
Hey, Ellison. I want to say good
How
morning,
you doing,
Charlie.
Miss Sunshine?
Hey, Ellison, how are you?
I'm doing well. I just wanted to say that I visit Reverend Matthews along with Commissioner May and Reverend Marcel Davis yesterday, and please keep him in prayer.
Okay.
His body is beginning to fail him. Jesus. He's 97 years old.
Praise the Lord.
And,
little vibrant little thing.
It was just a blessing. We had to wear masks, but in order to go there and see him yesterday.
Right.
But I want to say this. It was shameful that the President of the United States did not even acknowledge Juneteenth celebration. Matter of fact, I checked the statement that he issued and said we have too many holidays. That's what he said.
Yes, he did.
So I want to ask him that $45 million it took to have a parade on his birthday. That money should have went to health care. You all have a nice day.
Thank you so much, Ellison. Thank you.
Now that's part of somebody celebrating Juneteenth, going to see a
civil rights legacy. Reverend H.K. Matthews, 97 years old, a man who didn't mind going to jail for us.
A man who didn't mind speaking up.
Now that man right there will tell you green if you want to hear green. And you see, but when I say that, now that's what I like. Don't pity party around me and say what you think I want to hear. Tell me the truth.
Yeah.
Don't think that that's the point that I'm so glad that Ellison called. He called to say that they went to visit Reverend Matthews. But this is the kind of talk I'm saying that's what's going to get us there. You say what you mean and mean what you say.
You know, I got into a discussion with a person who was a little older than me a couple years ago about segregation. And I was like, you know, I honestly prefer segregation because I know what it is.
Exactly.
So you don't want me here, that's fine. You know, the only part about segregation I think should have really kind of changed is that you can't take tax dollars and then segregate us. You know what I'm saying? So you want to give us the black school, give us the black school. Or you want to do this, you know what I'm saying? And if other people want to go there, don't make it illegal.
Right.
For someone to integrate
there. The one word I don't like, you want to give me.
Well, not give, but I mean, if you, the portions, because I don't think most people understand
what belongs to me.
Yeah, but I don't think that most people understand the tax dollars and how all of us are paying taxes, right? Everybody pay taxes, down to the poorest person is paying taxes. And so making sure you allocate that money, right? So that everybody in the community who pours into that pot also benefits from.
Absolutely. We're having a great conversation today. I think that we should have these more often because of the fact of what's happening in the world today. And if we as a community, I don't care who you are, until we are able to discuss what really goes on, we're not going to, we'll saying here then 10 years from now saying the same thing.
I'm like you though. I just want to know what you feel, and then I can deal with it.
Right.
You know
Tell me the truth.
So we can come to something that we don't have to dance. I don't want to dance with you. I just want to know that's what you feel. My feelings can't be hurt.
That's
because
right.
I can respect your feelings. I really could respect your feelings.
And I already know that's how you feel.
I'm okay with that. And so you know, again, it's just that when it comes to being fair on what is allocated throughout the country. And what all people have put into this pot, then that's just where I want to be.
Because we all got a part that we play in this. We're not just playing, you're not just playing it.
We're all contributing.
We're all contributing to this.
We're all contributing.
I mean, the power dynamics, that's what we're going for. Okay.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, what role do power and privilege play in situations where someone says, I didn't mean to say it that way, or but that action suggests otherwise, but their actions say, I didn't really mean to say that, but what I'm saying, I mean it. What do you feel about things like that?
Power and privilege, the sad thing about power and privilege is a lot of people, I would say privilege more or less than when power, but a lot of people with privilege don't even understand they have privilege. And so they use it and they abuse it without the understanding that, and maybe they don't want to understand. I'm not saying that they can't, or maybe they do understand and don't care to understand.
I think a lot of it is a choice.
Yeah, they don't care how it affects other people. Right?
What advice do you have for people who truly want to grow, but don't know where to start in confronting their own biases?
First go to God and ask God to reveal.
I don't have a relationship with God.
You don't have a relationship with God?
I want something that's generic. What would you say that to anybody? There's some people who don't have a relationship with God, because I feel like this. Even with some of the things that happen, they say, oh, well, God say this. If you knew God, you wouldn't be doing that.
I still say you should get your relationship with God even if you don't have one.
Right.
But the second piece to that is...
I'm talking to just a general population.
My second piece is that you have to go out and experience other people. Like, just go, don't be in your circle, don't be in your bubble. Go to the Greek festival, go to a Juneteenth festival. Just go and experience other things outside of your own little bubble, your own little family, your own little neighborhood, your own little job. Like, not little, but your own job. Go out and experience people, and you will find that we have more things in common than we don't.
Right now, in these days, I think it's difficult for me to do that. How is it now that we as a community can keep the door open for uncomfortable conversations while still protecting those from that's impacted from those that we're trying to let them see that, like you say, that we all have something to give. Just because of this, that don't mean that I don't have it.
I think we gotta have humility, light and compassion and empathy. Those three things I think we lack in this country right now. They're just dying. Compassion, you know, and so like even if you don't have a relationship with God, but that's all I can talk about, and that's the only thing that stops me from going to jail. And that God.
I ain't expecting that.
But I'm just saying, because I have to remember that God has compassion, empathy, and humility for me every day. Every day when I wake up and open my eyes, I know that that's because of God. It's nothing that I did. And so I got to keep the door open for people too.
Hear this, I want you to keep that open, and I'm going to take this and we're about to close. But even when you say, yeah, you got to go to God first, but you look at the people now that's in the country that's saying, oh, I do God, I love God, but are you doing this to me? If you really had that relationship, you wouldn't be doing that with me. But let me finish. When you go to God, and if you still go to God, that's your mindset. Now, it's going to take a little bit more to resolve that. I am so sorry, but we are just about out of time. But the fact of it, we've had a great conversation today. And we've got to learn to talk about the things that are uncomfortable, to be that person to say, okay, I can talk about that uncomfortable situation so that I can get to be comfortable doing what I'm doing. That was good. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, it was a day that I really feel that even last night as I stayed up and I was trying to think of things that I wanted to bring forth to talk about today, only to bring us closer as a community. I just want you to know that I appreciate you, I thank you, and I will continue to be as transparent as I know how.
Okay.
I cannot stop that, otherwise I'm not going to be real to myself. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great week, but I want to tell you, make sure you come in on Monday, because I have two ladies that are coming in. They've got books that they have written. They are cancer survivors, and we are going to be talking about the impact that cancer has and what you have to do. So I'll leave you as I do every day. Never, ever, ever lose your focus. Always remember to keep God first. If you do it that way, I guarantee you're going to be a total success. So until Monday at at 9 o'clock, know that I love you with a perfect kind of love. Keep shining while I'm gone. Thank you so much, Keithina.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thanks for having me.
Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer.